like, subscribe button. Here we have another crazy story, another crazy story. It's crazy, it's crazy, it's crazy, it's crazy. Another crazy story, it's crazy. They said Peewee Longway. Imagine that. Peewee Longway, he didn't learn anything at all. Think about that. He didn't learn from Big Meech. He didn't learn from this person. He didn't learn from that person. He didn't learn from anybody. Imagine that. Imagine wanting to commit a crime and you want to use a cell phone. Think about it. Think about it. I mean, maybe it's convenient. Maybe it's convenient. But it's not right. It's not right. Peewee Longway have to learn the hard way. He's probably saying, you know what? Why did I use my cell phone? I should have known better. I should have known better. But like what I said, a lot of these criminals, they're not smart. They're not smart at all. It's like, for example, you know, you go behind the bars, you know, all your phone calls are recorded, you know, but you know what? Some people still talk on the phone. But believe it or not, this is how they said Peewee got caught up right here. They said Peewee on the 4th of July, instead of celebrating, you know, Independence Day, Peewee to say, you know what? I want to do something else. I want to do something else. This is what they said Peewee did right here. I'll let you know what I think in a second. Unbelievable.
Gomez, a.k.a. Palone. He'd be responsible for the coordination of suspected narcotics shipments from Houston, Texas, coming into Atlanta. The drugs...
Imagine that. Narcotic shipments coming from Texas to Atlanta. I mean, was Peewee part of the cartel? I don't know. I heard him rap about him. A few times, but I don't know.
Sold throughout the A, and the money would make its way back to Cortez. On the 4th of July, 2024, agents intercepted a wiretap between Cortez and Quincy Williams, a.k.a. Peewee Longway.
So on the 4th of July, I said, Peewee really wanted to celebrate. I guess so. He really wanted to celebrate. Imagine that. So they said on the 4th of July, they intercepted a conversation with Peewee. Hear what they said. They intercepted the conversation. He was talking about drugs. The
conversation was cryptic, with Cortez saying, on the shoes, I got you for sure. On the windows, give me 20 bags so I can get at least 20 of them. Cortez would then...
Imagine that. On the shoes, I got you for sure. I mean, I said these individuals are not smart. They think they can talk in codes. Imagine that. Codes. Riddles. Rhymes.
I got you on the shoes in less than an hour. DEA agents would interpret the conversation as Peewee negotiating for an unknown amount of shoes or cocaine and 20 kilos of meth or windows.
Imagine that. I told you Peewee was a bad man. Mr. Blue Benjamin. Peewee didn't want to celebrate on the 4th of July. But why is Peewee using a phone to do illegal stuff? I don't know. He's almost 40 years old. You would have thought he would have learned by now. I don't know.
Because of the holiday and the 1-hour time window, agents weren't prepared in time and remained unsure if the transaction took place. But another one would 4 days later.
That's the thing right there. Once you in that lifestyle, you know, it's like you got to keep on doing it. Meaning, you get something right now, a few days later you have to get more. Maybe a few days later you have to get more. So it's only natural. Eventually you get caught up. That's what happened to Peewee. Greedy. He didn't know how to quit. It's hard to quit.
On July 8th, It was 3:20 p.m. as agents monitored the Cortez residence with an electronic surveillance platform. A vehicle would pass by several times before parking in the roadway. Cortez's wife would then exit the residence and approach the vehicle. The passenger would exit, opening the trunk and passing her a large cardboard.
Believe it or not, a lot of criminals, for some reason, a lot of criminals think, you know what? I'm going to put this in my trunk. Like it's going to make a difference if it's in your trunk or not. Think about that. Think about that. A lot of these criminals are so delusional. They say, you know what? They can't search my trunk. They can't search my trunk. And then they search their trunks. I'm just talking. That's it. F-Service TV. Tell a friend, tell a friend. Unbelievable. Peewee. He didn't learn from anybody. He's really Mr. Amigo. I thought he was joking. Really Mr. Amigo.
She then brought inside. An hour later, another vehicle would pull up and Peewee Longway would exit the rear passenger seat, walk into the front door of the home. He'd walk back with the large cardboard box, placing it into the trunk and leaving. On July...
Imagine that. Imagine that. I mean, maybe people didn't trust nobody. You know, I mean, why didn't he send somebody else to get it for him? I don't know. Unbelievable. I mean, maybe he had free time on his hands. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe he had free time on his hands. I don't know. Crazy. I'm just talking. That's it. Unbelievable. I mean, Mr. Blue Benjamin, Peewee Big Meech. He didn't learn anything from Big Meech, except for how to go to jail like him. No, imagine that.
7th agents intercepted another wiretap between Cortez and his second in command for a sale of 40 kilos of cocaine that would take place the next day.
Uh-oh. 40? He was really Peewee Big Meech. Peewee was really doing his thing. 40? I mean, how long is it going to take him to get rid of those? Imagine that. A couple of days. I don't know. Peewee say, you know what? I'm really going to celebrate the 4th of July the real way. It's time to get back to the trapping. It's crazy. Unbelievable.
A van would be seen unloading and loading at Cortez's home, and agents would trace it to another home.
Imagine that. Van unloaded. I told you. Peewee was doing it the real way. Vans, forklifts, cranes, everything. It's time to get back to the trapping.
They'd hit with a search warrant. Agents wouldn't find any drugs, but would recover $500,000 in cash bundled in shoeboxes.
Believe it or not, once they come and they find a lot of cash like that, that's usually it for you. That's usually it. That's usually it. You know, that's usually it. Imagine that. Still putting cash in shoeboxes like it was like in the 90s, like in the 80s. Imagine that. They're stuck in time. They're stuck in time.
Throughout the criminal complaint, the focus would remain on Cortez, and it would appear he was the plug. But at this point...
It's time to get back to the trapping. Peewee wasn't playing. Atlanta's a crazy place. No foreign cars, no jewelry. Then you're a nobody. Imagine that. Imagine being a nobody. So you gotta risk your life in order to be somebody in their minds. Imagine that. I mean, imagine that. In their eyes. I mean...
No agent could prove Peewee Longway did anything aside from pick up a box that could have had anything inside of it. In fact...
Imagine that. Peewee Longway I mean, but to be honest, though, it looks kind of funny when you just go somewhere to pick up a box and you just leave. It's not like a bag. It's a box. I mean, a box. As you can see, Peewee Longway never learned, just like a lot of individuals before him and after him. Till next time. F-Service TV. They said crime don't pay. That's what I heard. I don't know. Unbelievable.